Hello and welcome. Here's another little project I purchased. Little rotavator, I think it's a Mary Tiller. Very poor state under a bit of polished styrene. Come polythene. Ain't got no idea if he runs. A lot of bits missing. Very oily. As I said, bits missing. Little project. Mostly there, so let's see what we can do. We'll be stripping down in various bits and pieces, bit of welding required, and possibly something to make move, because it's been robbed, I think. So watch this space, see what we can do. Now what we've done, we've stripped her down to her basic components, and here we have a fuel tank carburetor. As you see, it's in poor state. Don't look like she's going to do anything, so we'll have to delve deeper into this one. Gaskets, etc. So watch this space. Basic engine block, very poor state of repair again. Hopefully coil's all right, ain't testing them yet. Hopefully valves and all that work, but a lot of oil on it, just running round him. Took the pulley off, he was a job and a half, I tell you. Exhaust looks like he might stand on, not falling apart. Pull cord looks okay, because he did pull to a degree. Bit of rust, a bit of paint. Move on to the framework, covered in oil, good sign, keep the rust out, won't it? So he looks okay, just a bit of tartan up. And then move over to the tines. Now one of the tines looks all right, but he's an odd one. So we look over to the original one, I think he rusted out, look. We'll have to do something with that, hence a bit of welding. So on the whole, watch this space and we'll see what happens. Hopefully piston's all right, valve's all right, but let's go with it. Watch this space for the next one. Cheers for now. Right, now we've gotten apart, I can show you various bits and bobs. Took the engine off to start with, so took the cover. A little bit grubby as you saw previously, tidying them up a little bit. All works fine, need a little bit of painting later on. There we got the fuel tank. Cleaned them out. Typical old-fashioned method. Cut the washers, bit of fluid inside. He was full of rust. Been sat there for a while, I suppose. Still a little bit tidying up to do round in, but generally old fluid. Gasket was stuck on there, so we've made another gasket for the carb later on. And he's a goer for painting. Then we got the engine. Now, with the engine, show you the engine to start with. Now, flywheel was a little bit difficult to get off. So, remove the cover, pull cover, move the wire, which is in good nick, that's no problem at all. Now, with the flywheel on, there's a retainer which actually you use for the pull cord to turn the engine over, and this one was a little bit difficult to get off. If you're not sure how to do it, principally it's on the machine as such. When you pull the cord, turns the engine. Now to getting off, you want to knock in the opposite way, so you get a nice drift, really nice drift, not a bolt obviously, nice drift. Don't hit on the lug because you'll smack off. Hitting on one of the flat spots behind it, if you can get on there. A typical nice big clout, and he'll spin and he'll turn off. Old-fashioned unit. Inside of there, there's a cast aluminium base thread. On the top there's a lid with a sill for the dust, to keep the dust out. Inside of here there are 6 ball bearings that fly in and latch on the outside of them. So you should never need to get hold of it to take them apart. If he does, simple to put back together again. So 6 ball bearings, a lid. You can get the lid off if you require a very thin screwdriver, and just tweeze the lid so it falls apart. Nice bit of engineering in the old days. Flywheel, he comes straight off with a little tap. Hold him in midair. Try and support the flywheel. Give him a tap on the end of the shaft, and he should fall off. There is a keyway in it with it as well. We're turning over. He's sat with a keyway, so that keeps him in the same position. On the whole, not a bad bit of kit. Underneath the cover, set of points, a pin on the shaft which holds the points up for 90% rotation, and then when he drops, close the circuit, gets your spark on it. Hopefully Bob's your uncle, we got one. So in this case we have. Took all the sticky oil off and paint, and what I think was fence paint on there. So I've still got a bit more to do. Taking the valves out, they're a little bit of a pig to do. They either go first time or they go half an hour later. Depends on how you got. So I've removed the valves and reseated them. Everything moves fine. All in good nick, just needs a little bit more activation. When I took the head off, he was in good nick. None of the bolts snapped. All in good order. And just needs a bit of decoating now. Try and keep all your bolts in the same place, because it's easier when you put the head back on. If you put them in a different order, they might not go in as easy. So a nice little tip there. Head gasket, he's in good order as well. I'm going to try not to buy another one and keep the cost down as minimum as possible on this one. So he ain't broken, he ain't scored, he ain't snapped. Bit of a wire brush on him, and I'm just going to see if we get any more life out of him the second time round. This is in good nick. And lastly, we got the oil breather. He was clog solid. He must have been coked up and smoking like a good one. So let's hope the rings are all right on him, and when we fire him up, because I have got a spark on him, and we'll see what happens later on. Gasket behind there, probably replace that, because you don't want oil dripping everywhere, do you? You want to be chucked back in the engine. So I reckon he might smoke this one. So that's generally what we need, and watch this space. Carburetor, as you saw before, was a bit messy. This time he's all cleaned up. Principally the same as what you can see on YouTube video, just a little description on what I've done. Cleaned the filters, took the jet out, cleaning out, block solid as you would expect. Pump housing, remove the 4 screws, little diaphragm inside, take that out, small spring and a pump washer. Removed all the debris, cleaned them all up, put it all back together, and a new gasket made for the bottom of to sit on top of the tank. And then air filter, got this off a moped because I didn't have an air filter on this one. So extended a screw to sit on top of the carburetor, little gasket, and a mounting plate. So a mounting plate fits on top of the carburetor, then gasket on top of there, and then air filter, screws on top to complete it. Obviously it's a bit loose at the moment, but that'll be back on the old motor when we getting going. So then got the spray can out, tarted it up a bit, make sure she looks the original white colour. So all clean and tidy, ready to go. Same with the pull starter, all still works, nice clean and tidy. Now we come the engine. Same again, dropped my white paint on him, took all the oil off, taken the valves out, done the springs, done the head. I haven't torqued them down yet, Let's wait for them all to go together. The points in behind, got a new drive pin off the cam, and the point's now open and shut. I have got a spark on him, so pretty good. Grounding wire, that'll be fitted later to the carb when it's all done together. So next stage, put it together and sitting on the frame of the tiller. One of the other challenges was one of the inner tines was rotten as a pear, and what I needed to do there was find a bit of tube, drill out the other unit, put the tube back in, welding up, put the locating holes on it, and make dust cover to go on the tiller drive. Then prop tartan up with a bit of paint, you wouldn't know any difference, so that was good. And then we got to transport and over to the allotment, so found a bit of old metal, a couple of old wheels, and duplicated what you see on most tillers. So 3 sets of mounting points on either side, just in case he's different on another machine. So I just need a bit of paint and off we go with that. Now, if you remember when we were building them back up, I didn't have any trolley wheels, but I had to make some up for some heavy duty nylon and a bit of tube and a nice bracket. Well, in the background, we're not going to be using that one because I've gone and purchased a proper set of trolley transport wheels, as you can see on the back of the machine. So what I've now done, the belt's turned up, so you put the belt on. I'm just about to put the cover back on to protect ourselves. Engine's fitted, so she's all together. The drive coupling has been connected, and just means we got a testing. So give us a sec, we're going to put the cover on. Now what you can see is she is all together, tines on, wheels on, and now the engine did work on a bench, so got some fuel in it. We'll pull the choke out, pull it over, and then we'll see the tines move. There you have it, Wolseley Mary tiller with original wheels now and ready to rock and roll. Thanks for watching, keep on tinkering.